Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to share with you guys some awesome tips and tricks for reducing recoil in Black Ops 3. I know that a lot of people struggle when it comes to bettering their aim and controlling the recoil on certain weapons. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I have done that have really helped me to control recoil on some of the guns in Black Ops 3 and to really have helped me win more gunfights. So the first thing is to play on a lower sensitivity. A lot of times people will blame dying on the recoil or how bad the gun is based on the recoil, when really it could be the sensitivity that you're playing on. So try playing on a lower sensitivity. Generally it's easier to control recoil when you're playing on a lower sensitivity because you're not moving so quickly. Those fast movements tend to affect where your gun is shooting and how your gun works. So before you do anything to the gun, make sure that you try playing on a lower sensitivity and see if that fixes any of the problems that you're having. Memorize the recoil patterns. Most of the guns, actually almost all the guns, have recoil patterns. For example, the VMP, when you hold down the trigger, it actually moves up and to the right, and each individual weapon in the game has its own recoil pattern. So whatever gun you're trying to use, whatever gun that's annoying you, try to figure out what the recoil pattern is and then compensate for that. For example, with the VMP, if the gun is always shooting up and to the right, try to aim a little bit lower and to the left. That way when you are shooting, you can compensate for that recoil that's going to happen midway through your shooting, and you won't miss as many bullets as you would as if you just shot straight on. So compensate for the recoil pattern, and you should be good to go. The third tip is to burst fire instead of holding down the trigger. This has been a tip that's been a long-lasting tip through many Call of Duty games and has always been very good. Always burst fire your weapon. Now, one thing that I've noticed is when you burst fire, if you continuously burst fire, a lot of people think, well, by burst fire I'm not going to kill people as fast, I'm not going to get out the bullets out of my gun quicker than I would if I was just holding down the trigger. But truly, that's pretty much false, because if you burst fire, you'll finish shooting your clip in your gun just after you would if you were holding down the trigger. And what you're doing is you're basically keeping your aim laser sight, like it's perfect. And there's honestly no reason not to. I've noticed it's very helpful when it comes to submachine guns, especially with guns like the VMP or the Kuda when you're shooting at long distances. So make sure you burst fire instead of holding down the trigger. I feel like this is something that a lot of you guys probably know, but when it comes to people that are either new to the game or haven't been playing it too long, burst firing is something that is going to increase your game drastically and help you win a lot more gunfights and be able to kill people from longer distances. So honestly, it's just a win-win-win. Try to burst fire your weapon instead of holding down the trigger and you'll do much better. The last tip is extremely obvious, and a lot of people for some reason continue not to do it and complain about it. Use grip. It's an attachment for a reason. It's really going to help you out. And when we go back to talking about memorizing the recoil patterns, for example, if you're using a gun and maybe it shoots down and to the left, when you run grip, see what the difference is. It might not make it 100% better, but see what the new recoil pattern is going to be, because then you can use two tips in one. You can put on grip and then memorize the new recoil pattern that's going to make it a little bit easier to get those kills, and you'll do much better. So guys, use grip, burst fire instead of holding down the trigger, memorize the recoil patterns, and try to play on a lower sensitivity. Those are the tips that I have for you guys when it comes to reducing recoil. If you guys have any more tips and tricks, make sure to leave them down in the comments below so other people can use them. Again, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.